Hey everyone, how's it going? It's Halloween weekend, for those of you who observe the holiday. I know my kids do. They're having fun this weekend. Welcome everybody. John Selway here, Selway Techno Saturdays. And once again, here, nice chat happening. 343 TV. 343 Labs. My brain just went out the door just now. I thought I was ready, but I think I'm in a bit of a mood today. It happens. Where's my water? It's over there. Don't worry about it. So nice to see everybody here today. I've been sort of reading the chat here. We got the usual cast of characters happening over here and a few new names as well. Let's see who is in. Martin Crockett was first. John H. Kingston III, Josh Holiday, William Mindreaders, Vix S. Yo-Yo Let's Techno. I like that. We might do a little of that today. It's kind of mixed up. Today, I actually had this plan to do like a sneaky, surprising Halloween intro or something. To be honest, I had a lot of technical issues with the graphics and making the cameras work the way I wanted to. So I decided just to default on the usual. But I am kind of leaning dark with the sounds today. I'm trying out a couple of plugins that, one in particular is very good at sounding like things are just destroying, dark, falling apart. Like it's pretty nuts. It's a cool plugin. So there's that. And anyway, let's try to get back on track. Welcome to 343 TV, Selway's Techno Saturdays. I'm a instructor for 343 Labs. We do music production classes online and in person. And I don't know. Hey, Max, you ever have one of those days where your brain just doesn't want to focus? I think I'm having like ADD today. You know what we might have to do? I might have to just like not try to be too formal and just we'll just relax and be conversational today. And we'll make some sounds and we'll make some music and we'll have some fun. What else is going on here in the chat? Who else is here? Pavel's back. Michaela Mengre, welcome for the first time. Glad to have you here. Antoine Grigore. PK. Alessandro Braz. I'm looking for names I don't recognize. Absent. What's up? How's it going? We got mod scientists hanging out on Twitch. We usually have one or two on Twitch. And I think that's most of the names I see here. Oh, Silent, F-Stop. You've been here before. Nice to see you again. And I'm going to try to wake up a little bit and tell you about our giveaway this week, which is a 343 Pro session of your choice. So Thomas, if you've got the link, drop it here in the chat so people can join. This is your last chance to join this week if you haven't already, and we will announce the winner towards the end of the show here in the chat, and I will give you some congratulations live on the stream. Man, I wish there was someone here. Like if Thomas was here or I had a friend here at 343 Studios to run out and like get me a coffee or something. I really, really need to wake up today. I don't know what it is. Maybe I stayed up too late last night. That happens sometimes. All right, there it is. There's your last chance to enter this week's giveaway. Definitely hit that link. Take a look for that. And do you pin that, Thomas? Usually you can just like pin that right at the top. I need to start getting a little bit more savvy with chat action, like doing surveys and things like that. But we'll get there. All right. I just want to make some noise. I know I'm kind of fumbling the intro a little bit today, but hey, like I said, we all have those days. And I think when I was playing around with the sounds here before, I might have just psyched myself out a little bit with the darkness of it. I mean, like that's what I was listening to right before I went live. I think I played a trick on myself, and I need some treats to get me back into it. That noise is crazy. I like that noise. So what's making that noise? Well, it's a couple of things. So yeah, I am looking at some plugins, some free plugins, and I didn't know about these. One of the students in the 343 studio in the office hour the other day mentioned these, and I thought, hey, I want to check that out. But we have, there's a company called Noise Engineering, and they're known for hardware modular stuff, but they've started putting out these interesting free, they're kind of simple and weird and unique plugins. So the heavy distortion that you were hearing in that kind of dark, growly pad, whatever that is coming from this one called Ruina, which is, it sounds like it's kind of a multi distortion processor. It's got different types of distortion combined together, and it sounds very dark and very intense, and it can really ruin or destroy your sounds. And one of the things that stood out to me was one of the controls is doom. And I figured, who doesn't want to occasionally add a little doom to your sounds if you're doing like dark cinematic stuff or heavy techno, dark electro sounds, that kind of thing? A little doom probably could go a long way. So I thought it would be fun to try these out in the stream today. All right, so that's one of them. And then there's two synths. There's Sync Varior and Vert Varior. And they're kind of similar in how they work. They're subtractive synths. But the difference is in what the oscillator is doing. So they're pretty cool. Again, they're limited. They can't, they're, but they don't have a lot of modulation built in. There's like, the envelope can modulate the filter, and that's it. But of course, you can use MIDI or external automation to go crazy with the sounds. So that's another thing I was starting to explore is, how do I make this simple plugin that doesn't do a lot? It just has one sort of simple character. How can I get the most out of it? Cool. Simple Sam says, hey, I know those plugins. They are cool. I like them. I like really interesting, free, unique instruments, right? We don't all have to go out and spend a ton on native instruments or get a subscription to Plugin Alliance. Although, that having said that, Plugin Alliance is having a sale, and I always go back and forth on whether I want to join the subscription. I'm not sure I really would use all of that stuff, but they do have these sales all the time. And this is another plugin that I was starting to look at. I think you can get one plugin for $29 right now. So I was curious about unfiltered audio plugins before, and I saw our friend Carl Finlow, who of course has been on the show a couple times, posted on Facebook about picking up Silo, that it's a really awesome plugin. And I'm like, well, if he likes it, I probably should check it out. And so yeah, I have this in here. I didn't buy it yet. It's just the trial. They have a nice free trial. You can do any plugin for, I want to say it's at least a week or 14 days or something like that. A decent amount of time to get to know it before you decide to dive in and pay. All right, so that's in here as well. All right, so let's take a look at what's making that ungodly, dark doom of a sound. And I'm using just 3 plugins to do this. We've got the Vert Varior, and then Ruina to ruin it, and then the unfiltered audio. It's like a granular reverb with all sorts of modulation inside of it. And I haven't totally explored everything in Silo yet. Looks cool though. Looks like a science project from a sci-fi movie. Good interface. I prefer interfaces that aren't trying to emulate hardware, right? This doesn't exist in the real world. It only exists on a screen. It makes sense to have a good interface for the screen. All right, so let's take a look first at Vert Varior. Kind of a cool, simple interface. I like the graphics. They're adjustable. It has fire, which you can see these kind of trails coming off of the controls. You can change the size. You can change the color. Not absolutely necessary, but kind of cool, right? How many voices of polyphony does this thing have? 16. Good enough, right? Good number. And you can tune inside. And this was one of the things I liked. This one and the other synth have tuning files you can use. We talked about this the other day. We were doing using the Kalundi scale and things, doing micro tuning and different types of scales. And so you can load Scala files in here, which is pretty great. Oops. All right, don't need to do that now. And the synth itself is really simple. There's 3 different modes for the oscillator, and you have nicely non-technical parameters: flavor, tang, and noise. And you've got an ADSR, just a simple envelope, and an amp and filter section, and a chorus. Really simple. All right, so, let's see what it sounds like without the filter. I'll take the filter mix down. It's kind of like a dry wet for the filter. Nice. All right. I'm going to turn the chorus off. It makes a big difference, doesn't it? All right, so we've got the 3 different oscillators. This one is Harm. And it already has a lot of like rough, noisy rumble in it, which is great. And I've got a nice slow attack and decay just to make that swell. And then, the filter, simple low pass, band pass, high pass, and it can follow the same envelope. And that's it. It's really easy to use. Nice sounding filter. Let's turn the chorus back on. All right. So already that sounds nice, very dark, especially down on those low octaves. But let's see what happens when we go and turn Ruina on there. So this is where kind of most of the action is today. Like this has a lot of power, a lot of unique tone and character going on. Okay, so yeah, volume input, volume output. You have a wet dry, so you can mix the undistorted signal with the distorted signal. Overdrive. And that's really going to give you a lot of dirt and grit, high frequencies going on. We can offset the left and right channels, which is really nice to create wide stereo effects. And it's a wavefolding distortion, so we can change the shape of that. And that is really, you can hear it really start to scream as I push that up. Center is frequency for the filter built into it. And then we have a separate saturator. And that's going to give you, it's not going to be as intense as the overdrive and the wavefolding. It's going to kind of give it brighter harmonic distortion. And then we've got octavize and doom. So doom is what's giving it the lower, it sounds like a pitch shifter actually. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Actually, let's turn down everything and hear what it sounds like just with doom. That sounds pretty cool by itself. And that's without pushing the distortion really hard. I'm gonna need to look at the documentation again. On it sounds like to me it sounds like Doom is putting in a pitch shifted octave below, but it also has this parameter called octavize, and I'm not exactly sure what that's doing. Okay. Then we have buzz, which is going to add sort of crackle and break up the sound. It totally sounds like Doom, doesn't it? I'm deliberately making a Doom kind of a sound with Ruina, which has a Doom control. All right, and then what's kind of making the sound come together for me is Silo. And this is just, I ran through some presets, but I think I kind of messed my sound up. But the granulated kind of chopped up reverb going on here is great. It's adding an eighth note rhythm to these grains that are kind of chopping up. I don't know. I might want to reload my session here because I want to get that sound back to the way it was. I don't want to take the time to find it now. Anyway, so those of you who were here previously, I was working on this electro track, and I was thinking about basically taking it in a darker direction. And I started adding in Ruina to the different sounds to see what would happen and to see how this plugin works with different types of sounds. So I started with the drums. Let's try a different one that's not so busy. Actually, they're all busy. Actually, let's just start. I'm going to add a Ruina. And we'll start from default and see what that does. Oh, that's messy. But definitely evil sounding. So what I found right away is on sharp transients, it just destroys everything. It totally squashes everything. This isn't going to be your go-to for like making drums punchy, that's for sure. But if you want to like destroy and squash and completely change what your drums are doing, this is definitely a candidate. Let's see if we can. All right, I'm going to get rid of some of these parameters and dial it back a little bit and play around and see if I can make this sound good on all the drums. I mean, it might be more effective to try this out on individual drums, but I want to see what it does just with the whole drum kit. Maybe we can move on to the other one. Okay, so we want phase in the middle. Now that's good. Just adding a little bit in of the default tone. It's adding like thickness to that kick. So that's definitely how you want to use this with drums. If you want to keep the transients, you want to keep it parallel and just use it as a tone to mix in with your sharp, punchy drum sounds. But I like that already. Just that's going to make that sub 808 kick sound bigger right away. Bring up the overdrive and it's going to start bringing up more mids. But it's also reacting to the other drums, even the hi-hat, so it's got kind of a rumble to it already. Let's try the saturator. Okay. Now that's actually kind of cool. I'm losing my bass, but I like the high frequencies of that. I want to hear what that sounds like changing the phase. Yeah, it's doing some stereo stuff. It's kind of cool. You know what? I'm starting to like this better for drums now. That sounds really good. changing the center, changing the filter cutoff, going into this distortion. That's nice. Let's see what Octavize does on the drums. Oh, I hear it. It's doing like an octave overtone. That sounds great. I want to make an electro track just with this. Just automating this thing. Yes, as Simple Sam says, it's time to add some doom. Let's see what happens. It might just totally destroy it. Yeah, I knew it. You can tell right away. It's a pitch shifter. It's bringing in a pitch shift, the whole signal, dropping it down a couple of octaves. It's making the hi-hat sound all, it's loose. So I wouldn't necessarily, I don't want to put that on there because it's messing up the hi-hats and the snares and stuff. Let's try some buzz. All right. We were playing around with the vocal sample on this track before, and I had this weird and we were kind of thinking maybe it's corny, and I was like, where I couldn't think of my own sample. I'm still thinking about it, but I found a classic rap lyric. Let's see if anybody out there knows it. Let me make sure I get it on the right beat. Who recognizes that? I'll take the vocoder off so we'll see if you recognize who it is. I love that sample. I think it fits the vibe of the beat perfectly. Hey Mazda91, thank you very much. You are welcome. Nice to have you here from Korea. Fantastic. I love how global the community is. This is great. And here I am making weird, dirty, dark doom electro. I hope you guys are all on the same frequency as I am today. I'm starting to wake up now after my sort of slow intro. I think I even forgot to say some stuff, but that's all right. You guys come back every week. You'll hear me say it again. It'll be fun. Cool. Yes, Martin Crockett, you got it. That's Rakim, legendary rapper. So I found the acapella of that and just grabbed that one little phrase, travel at magnificent speeds around the universe. Because I always thought, I mean, I've heard people sample that in tracks before, but I feel like that works really well for electro, especially with the vocoder on it. So anyway, I just wanted to hear what it sounded like with this heavy, distorted, futuristic groove we've got going on here. So sounds good on drums. I feel like the doom isn't going to work as well, although it might work just on the kick drum. Let's try that actually. That's the kick drum and the zaps. I'm going to lose the that sounds insane, all that distortion just on that kick like that. All right, let's put one straight on the 808. I'm down with that. Let's hear some doom. There it is. I love it. That with some reverb on it, forget about it. Now, I haven't played around with the filter much, but the filter will track the incoming amplitude, so the frequency of the filter will move with the signal. If I change that to mobile. There it goes. And then we can also change the curve of the filter, and flow, I think, is signal routing, or whether high or low frequencies are going through it, because it's got under, crossover, and over. Or under, X, and over. I'm not sure. That one's giving us high frequency, so that's letting more of the lows through. That is just evil. Let's hear what silo sounds like on that. All right. This is a tricky plugin. I'm still working it out. So far, I've just mostly been going through presets. But I do like that it has a random button. The Earth is being destroyed. The aliens are like coming down. That's insane. Is that a little loud? Can you hear me talk over that? It's loud in my headphones. That's crazy. Let's see what happens if I hit the dice and randomize it. What? This thing is amazing. You don't have to learn how to use it. Just throw a cool preset on there and then hit randomize, and then it's going to be amazing. Okay, it does depend on what goes into it. And I mean, basically you're granulating the audio, you're chopping it up into little pieces, you can transpose the pitch, you can adjust the speed of each grain, faster or slower, so it can do kind of warping, time stretching kind of stuff. It's got a buffer effect, I guess, where it's gonna, I don't know, I have to read the manual for this thing. Then it goes into the spatializer, which is moving the grains around. And then it's going into a crazy reverb, which sounds really awesome. This is a beautiful sounding plugin. And I can't wait to check out some of the other unfiltered audio effects, because I've heard very good things. Totally cool. All right. But that's not gonna work for the electro beat. And that's also a little too heavy, but I like what that is doing for a kick drum. I'm definitely going to have to get into some techno and try Ruina on some like hardcore or like industrial dark techno sounds and kicks and things like that. All right, let's see what's happening here with some of the other sounds. And I've got everything. There we go. I'm going to dial this back. It's a little too much. I like the clean, sharp sound for this track. I'm going to bring down the octavize. That's okay. Maybe just a little bit down more of the dry. And I'll keep the Ruina stuff sort of in the background for flavor without messing up the balance of the drums too much. All right, let's try this on, all right, we kind of heard what this could do with the synth before. I have my evil robot bass line happening. It already is aggressive. Let's hear what it sounds like with some doom. Oh, I know it's going to be good. I love the rumble from the doom pitch shift underneath. And again, I have to use this thing with the blend, because that's too much. It's totally destroyed. I love it, but it's a little bit, I want it to be cleaner, so I'm mixing it in with the dry signal. And it's still kind of overwhelming. I need to work on like EQing and making the sound fit better, but I do want to keep the rumble from that. I really like how it sounds. Let's try it with a beat. Nice. compare it without. That's also good, but it's so much lighter in comparison, isn't it? I mean, it's cleaner. You might want cleaner. But I like how ominous it sounds like that. Another thing I was trying to figure out when I was working on this track last time was I had a pad, which is kind of a clean, simple, but a little spooky sort of a sound. And that sounds good, nice and clean. I was wondering if I wanted to go into the synth and try to make it sound a little more complex, but you know, this is another free plugin that's kind of lo-fi and simple, and it doesn't have a lot in the way of modulation possibilities. So to get the complexity, you know, it's a little bit easier and more straightforward to go into effects. And you wouldn't necessarily always think that you want to put a nice, clean, pretty ambient pad through distortion, but sometimes it's a good idea. So let's turn off the echo there for a second and put the Ruina in. Again, this is what it sounds like. That's dry now with the distortion. And it's also got that pitch shifting down there. And actually the doom, which is just some kind of pitch shifting, sounds great under the higher notes of this sound. Now let's hear that with some Ethereal Canyon echo preset on there. And that's giving it a nice clean reverb echo going on. Sometimes I like, when I want to be really dirty and a little darker and scarier sounding, I will put reverbs into distortion. It really starts to sound more broken up, and I don't know, it has more of a doom feel to it. I guess that's the theme for the day, thanks to noise engineering. So let's hear what it sounds like with the reverb going into the distortion. Right, so now we have all those frequencies from the reverb and the delay also breaking up and sounds all crumbly and falling apart. And I think that's cool. How are we doing in the chat? It's about halfway through. This is Selway Techno Saturdays. I just realized I'm not sure that my lower third is working. It seems to not pop up. Do I have it off? Oh, it's off. Look at that. Let's turn that back on. Kabow. So, this is 343 TV. We're on almost every day. 343 TV is brought to you by 343 Labs Music Production School in New York City and Berlin. We have online courses and in-person courses. I do Ableton Live music production classes and synthesis and sound design course. I've got a synth and sound design course coming up soon, I believe. I'm not exactly sure what the date is, but if you're interested, check it out on our website. The links are in the description below. Also, if you haven't already joined our Discord, it's a great place to take part in the community, get to know people, like-minded producers like yourself, get feedback on your tracks. You know, we like to, 343 guys like to jump in there. I like to check out and see what people are doing and give some feedback every now and then. You can ask questions. It's a good place to be. We do sample challenges. I'm pretty sure we have a sample challenge up now or coming up any minute now. So that's all there in the Discord, of course. So join that down there. I think I saw someone earlier mentioning that the Discord link wasn't working for them, and we've noticed that before. It depends sometimes on what browser you're using or what computer you're on. But if it didn't work the first time, I mean, you can always ask for help here in the chat, but just try a different browser maybe if that didn't work for you earlier. And let's see if we have any questions or comments going on here in the chat. Party Pizza asks about Euclidean sequencing. I actually don't have an Euclidean sequencer installed. I'm aware of them. And there was a Max for Live Euclidean sequencer that I recall looking at a while back, but I didn't get around to it. But that's something that would be a good idea. for a future show. So thanks for reminding me. Oh, Max, I forgot. That's right. I'm going to be doing a mixing and mastering course. This is a first for me for 343 Labs to do mixing and mastering. And I'm looking forward to that. It's a different kind of a curriculum than I normally do. So it's going to be refreshing. So yeah. Max, is that going to be online? I forget if it's online or in person in New York, or maybe both. I don't know. And thanks, Max, for reminding us that the synth class, the next one, starts up in January. So you've got plenty of time to decide, but the sooner the better. Sign up now. And cool. Absent says, who's pop and locking every time he pushes stop is freezing? Oh, that's a good one. Everybody. I don't know how to do it. I don't even remember. I'm pretty sure when I was a kid in the 80s that I tried to learn how to do that. And but yeah, that kind of beat does make you want to pop and lock. What else we got going on in the chat? Pavel says the Doom is really distortion 222. Is that like do you mean to like the power of 2 or something like that? I'm pretty sure it's pitch shifting, but yes, we like whatever it is. We like the Doom. And right, I was looking back to the comments about the sample that I used for the vocoder. Yeah, that is Rakim, and the song is, as Martin Crockett pointed out, "Follow the Leader," which is amazing. Go check it out if you don't know it. Definitely worth a search on YouTube or whatever your platform of music listening is. Now, Sam Kitt says Ableton sequencer arpeggiator definitely needs an upgrade. Well, okay. Max for Live pretty much provides almost anything you could want in terms of step sequencing and alternative types of sequencing like Euclidean and things like that. They could make the arpeggiator more fancy, right? But I feel like, I think they keep their devices focused, and then you can combine multiple devices together in racks to create your own more complex kind of setup. So I see the logic of that. You can get the crazy custom stuff from Max for Live, and then you could stick to the basics, or you can combine those things together in complex ways if you kind of think about it a little bit. I like to do that. I'll use like multiple arpeggiators in sequence or in parallel to do different things. It's kind of fun. All right. Sam Kitt says, I recently released a broken beat techno track. It's not breakbeat, but it's not techno. Really struggling to find a fan base for this type of music. Any advice? Yeah, that's tricky. I feel like that sort of style is, it's not totally like underground, but I feel like there is no underground music anymore. Everything exists everywhere. You can find anything. But I like electro, I like breaks, I like techno, I like some bass music. I like them all combined together in different ways. I like it when you find new ways and push boundaries by combining genres. And I don't know how to find a scene is just, you got to find like-minded producers and artists and DJs and find record labels that release music that's like what you're doing. And yeah, I understand it's hard. But hey, if you haven't joined the Discord for 343 Labs, maybe drop one of your tracks in there in the feedback and area, and I'll check it out, and maybe I'll have a better idea of what you're going for when I hear your music. So that's a good reason to join the Discord right there. Nice. Let's get back to some music. Now, I don't know if I was toying with the idea of like leaving the electro alone and then trying to do something more techno oriented for half of the show, although we only have about 20 minutes. But yeah, let's do it. I'm gonna tightrope walk. I'm gonna load up. I'm just gonna forget all of this. I'm not even gonna save any of it. And I'm gonna start a brand new live set with nothing in it. cross your fingers. This could go great or not. We don't know. And let me make sure that the audio is routed into the stream so you guys can hear what I'm doing. And all right, I've got my reference on. And what we want to do is let's bring in some drums and start adding some of these noise engineering synths and see if we can make kind of a techno groove real quick before we wrap up and hear what this sounds like in a slightly different musical context. All right. I'm just going to use the Max for Live drum synth drum sounds to start with. Put in a kick drum. What tempo should we be? 130, 135. Techno's faster nowadays. I don't know. Let's do like 135. All right, I'm going to see if I can get this sounding a little more brutal and punchy. And we'll definitely add some Ruina to this kick drum. I mean, all right, this already has some distortion built into it. It's already sounding pretty hardcore. And it's also very loud, so let's turn it down a little bit. I'll do you guys a favor and put a little compression and limiting on the master so I don't blow everybody's ears out by accident. All right, that's a little loud, but not too crazy. All right, so we've got drive and overtone. All right, I don't want to make the attack softer. A little click wouldn't hurt. I'm trying to make it sound brighter and sharper. That's better. Now let's see what happens if I take that and distort it again with Ruina. I think it's going to be totally insane. Oops, I spelled it wrong. Ay, ay, ay. What? It sounds like it's less powerful now. So we're taking away bass a little bit. I think it's the saturator. It's interesting. It's squashing it so much, and you're creating this synth kind of tone in there. But it also has a little wobble to it that changes the groove somehow. It almost has like a like a metal kind of. All right, that's giving it the sharp buzz on top. I don't know if I want too much of that. Let's see what happens if we filter it. So like it's getting into hardcore hardstyle area pretty fast. Oh my god. That is evil. All right, I don't know if I like that exactly. It's maybe a little bit too hardcore, kind of dirty kick, but I like the possibilities of this plugin for sure. Let's dial it back. Oh, I like that. kind of doing a swingy. All right. This is a maybe for me. I know they say don't make your kick drum stereo, but whatever, it sounds cool. Okay, so that's the kick drum. Any ideas? What should we do next? Synth part? Another percussion sound? What do you guys say? Any ideas in the chat? We have some questions. I'll try to get to you in a second. You know what? Let's just get some hi-hats going. Let's make this more than just bang, 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 right? Let's have some kind of a groove going on. So, now the DS hi-hat's very thin. I feel like I want something more chunky, but maybe I'll start just with the thin hi-hat and then go from there just to get the groove going. Go ahead, do 16 notes. Why not? Would you ever distort a hi-hat? Let's see. What does Ruina sound like on a hi-hat? Probably pretty nuts. Probably we don't need to do this, but let's try. Aye. That's not terrible. Right. I think I really need to go back on this. Actually, I kind of like that. It's got that rumble. I like that better. It's got kind of some white noise in there. It's kind of breaking up. Playing around with some ghost notes on the kick. Maybe we do not a steady kick drum. Maybe we do just bang, like a little more syncopated, breaky kind of techno. All right, I didn't even really do anything to this preset. Really going to be noisy. Too much, right? I don't mind it just a little. And it's adding a lot of low frequencies to a hi-hat, which definitely don't really need to be there. It does kind of have some energy to it, but yeah, that's too much. You want to get rid of that. Give some velocity changes to these hi-hats. All right. How are we doing? We have to distort all the sounds. Pavel says, it's a simple Sam. Yes, we're distorting everything. We're adding distortion and doom to everything today. Whether that works in the end and I make a track out of it, I don't know. I told you I'm tightrope walking. We're just trying this out and seeing what happens. And if this turns into something good, great. If not, no harm done. We learned something. All right. Let's try a synth. Let's see if we can get one of these sync. We didn't use sync Varior yet, so let's try that. Looks cool. I like the yellow, although you can change the color. And I'm going to try something with a 16th note pattern, and I'm going to use an alternate tuning like we did that one time. Let's see if I can find... I don't have the Scala file. Never mind. Let's see. All right, this is going to take too long. It's almost 2 o'clock. I'm not going to go through diving through my whole system to find the alternative tuning. We'll do what we can. Maybe we'll do a mono sequencer. Hello, hello. There it is. Throw that in front of it and randomly generate something. We're going to turn this into techno if it kills me, I swear. All right. That's too happy. All right, we'll start there. And see if we can make this sound sharper. So right now it's some sort of soft. It's not good yet. We're just going to go with it. So I think in super mode, we have multiple waveforms where the phase is offset. Or just a plain. Looks like it's kind of an FM or phase modulation going on there. Or we have noise. Both of these synths, by the way, have a random function. Let's try our luck and see what happens if I hit random. No, I think I need to be precise about it. It does give you a quick idea of all the different tones that it has. Yeah, because it's messing up. It's messing up my my envelope. It'd be great if you could lock parameters so they don't randomize. All right, we have a filter mix here. The filter is set to low pass. There we go. And the envelope amount is up. It's nice, but I feel like it's going to be too clean and too pretty to go through to work with this. So let's distort it. Okay. I feel like it needs to be in a lower octave. Let's bring it down. The Ruina is making it crazy. Right. Not super happy with that sequence. Let's randomize a little bit. That's better. Let's play with the distortion and see if we can make that sound a little cooler. That's better. All right. If I work with this long enough, I'm gonna make it happen. I like how weird and random it is. I like how it's kind of ugly and dirty. And with the right beat on top of it, right? Let's go back to this kick and turn the distortion off. It's like, it's better, right? It needs to be a little sharper, cleaner with this dirty synth. I'm living with this. Let's see what happens when we play with the synth a little bit. Let's see what the chorus sounds like. That's not bad. Okay. So that's the beginning of something. I feel like I got somewhere. It wasn't horrible. It was a decent techno, kind of dirty underground, syncopated, minimalistic, right? Just with that one loop. There's not a lot going on. It needs some more parts eventually, but that could go somewhere. These things can come together pretty fast. Nice. It is just about time to stop. I want to say thanks to everyone for going along with this ride with me today, checking out these new plugins for noise engineering and also Silo, briefly, which I need to spend a little bit more time with. And I don't know, a little bit of experimenting today, a little bit of getting weird and dark, and we added doom to our sounds. I really love the fact that I can add doom to anything now. Of course, you could build your own multi-effects similar to this, with something like Live or Bitwig, where you can, or anything where you can chain up and stack effects. What was it? We had overdrive, saturation, wave folding, some kind of a filter with an envelope follower, and there was the doom was like a shift down in pitch, right? So you could stack up a bunch of effects yourself and do something similar. But hey, this plugin is free and it sounds really cool. So kudos to Noise Engineering for releasing this pack of interesting free plugins that have cool sounding and good character. So yes, indeed, congratulations to our winner today of the pro session, Tech Innova. We will be in touch. Glad that we have a winner announced. I am out of time. Thanks to everybody here. Sorry if I didn't get to your questions or comments. I just was getting wrapped up and making weird noises. So come back next week and actually stick around and watch us every day. Subscribe down below if you haven't already. And we got Merrily back on Monday. So adios.